All right, great. My name is Kenneth Plummer of Kensworth Consulting, one of the three co-developers of this very exciting project. Also on the line are our partners, the Guyan Place Renaissance HDFC, as well as NRP, which is the lead developer, along with Mark Beta of Touchstone Builders, which is the GC partner, along with NRP. Just a quick overview. This is essentially the culmination of 5 years of visioning, planning, and community, a lot of hard work, community visioning as well. Literally thousands of hours have been spent along with countless agencies. We'd like to thank the City of New Rochelle, the New Rochelle Planning Department. Can everyone please mute their phones for now? Would everyone please mute their phones? Or their not phones, but mute their computer, please? Thank you so much. And we'll have a Q&A later on after the last presenter, so you'll have an opportunity to be heard if you have any questions. Again, the New Rochelle Planning Department, Westchester County, New York State HFA, and countless other partners, New Rochelle Boys and Girls Club, is one of our major partners as well. So all our partners would like to say thank you. This project is 100% approved. We have all our site approvals, as well as our funding from New York State. Very few housekeeping items, and then we'll get started. Again, please mute your phones. We really don't want to hear anyone until the last presenter. If you have a very pressing question or statement, please send it to me directly or to everyone in the chat room. I'll serve for your moderator today, but again, if you have any issues or questions, please send that to me directly. And so we'd like to bring on the Reverend Michael J. Rouse, who's the president of the Lincoln Towers HDFC, which is a sponsor, co-developer, also the sponsor of the Guyan Place Renaissance HDFC. Reverend Rouse.
Thank you, Kenneth. Good evening, everyone. We want to thank you for coming and joining with us. We are excited about this project that we have planned and have been working on, as Kenneth said, for some 5 years now. We are just excited about what's taking place this evening. This is a golden moment, as I called it, a golden opportunity for all types of minority contractors to get involved in this project. And we're certainly excited that so many of you have signed on and registered to come and share with us this evening. We hope that the information that is given this evening will be beneficial and useful to each and every one of you. But most of all, we just pray that this will be a stepping stone. But a stepping stone to some marvelous opportunities for minority contractors and entrepreneurs in and around the city of New Rochelle. We want to thank Kenneth and all of those that have put this together, the developers who have come to help us accomplish our goals in this tremendous project. And again, I just want to thank you for being here. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for being attentive to the call to come. And Kenneth, now I'm turning it back into your hands.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rouse. I'd like to also bring up.
That's good.
Everyone use their phones. It's be very appreciated rather if you can use it.
And Plummer.
Thanks. Let's see if I can meet everyone.
The Lincoln Avenue, the Lincoln project.
Hey, Leslie, we hear you. Can you mute yourself? It's Yadira. Hi.
Hi, I will. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Yadira. And that's the perfect cue. Councilman Ramos Herbert, you're up next.
Thank you so much, Kenny. I have the distinct pleasure of serving as the New Rochelle City. Nope, there's still background noise from our 914-879 phone number. You can mute yourself. I'll transition quickly. The city's really excited about this project. This project is near and dear to my heart. Our kids deserve a wonderful Boys and Girls Club. Our community deserves some true affordable housing, and the partnership with our church, with St. Catherine's AME Zion and the community is really something that is serving as a model for how development should be done. Many meetings have been held with the community. I'm grateful for the regular outreach, and I'm just so happy to see that we're at the part where we are having these kinds of info sessions. So thank you everyone for taking the time to sign up. Thank you for everyone who set this up. And I'm just so excited to see this project move forward. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you so much. And again, Councilwoman, she really stepped in. Initially, we started the project with Councilman John Rice, who's now a judge, and she's just been a blessing and been very, very informed and just really been focused rather on this process. Thank you for making sure this transition was very, very smooth. I'd like to have the president of the New Rochelle NAACP, Mark McLean, very briefly.
Yes, greetings everyone. My name is Mr. Mark McLean. I have the pleasure of leading the premier civil rights organization in the nation, the NAACP, and I have the pleasure of leading the NAACP New Rochelle branch. And I just want to thank Mr. Plummer for all the work that he's done and for this project. We at the NAACP have been supporting this project nearly since its inception. We see it as a win-win situation for our community, where it is the only development project in New Rochelle that is supplying all affordable housing units at very low AMIs, 50, 60, and up to 80 AMI, area medium income for Westchester. And we feel that it's much needed in our community, and it is also a opportunity because of Mr. Plummer and everyone that's involved with this project's commitment to making sure that local African-American workers and companies have a piece in this project. Is also lending a hand in helping our community realize economic development and economic empowerment in our community, which is the fight for the 21st. So we thank you for being here. Finally, Reverend Jesse Jackson once said, an opportunity without preparation is no opportunity at all. So we thank you for being here to be prepared and position yourself to take advantage of this great opportunity. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Reverend McLean. Really appreciate you being on the call. I'd like to bring up Jonathan Gertman, who's the Vice President of NRP. NRP, hates when I say this, but NRP is the #4 affordable housing developer in the United States. I think #6 in market rate housing. Jonathan's been opened the New York office roughly 4 or 5 years ago, and has been a tremendous partner. And one thing NRP and Jonathan, one thing about them, they finish what they start, and they always do what they say. So Jonathan?
Oh, thank you, Ken. I'll be very brief as well, because this is really about you all and building this project. But we just had a tremendous partnership with Reverend Rouse and the HDFC, Ken, and then of course the community partners like the City Council and Councilwoman Ramos Herbert and the NAACP, and then different funding organizations. Just as a firm, we really pride ourselves. We do both market and affordable housing. We started in the affordable housing business 25 years ago. We're the developer, we're a builder and management company. And for us, it's really about building the highest quality affordable housing. And I know that that's what we're gonna have here. And it's just gonna be an amazing asset for the community all around. And finally, I'd just say, for us, it's really, this has been a community-led project from start to finish. And we're getting tantalizingly close to the fun part, the really fun part, which is what you all do. So just very excited and looking forward to having folks join the team.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. And so the person we all came here to listen to today, Mark Bedeta, who is the principal of NRC JV, and who is the builder. And so Mark, if you walk us through your presentation. And Mark, let me know what page you want me to stop on the rendering, or where you want me to go to create the builder page. Thank you.
You can stop right there, that would be great.
Right, Mark?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mark Baida. I'm from Touchstone Builders. We are a general contractor based here in Armonk in Westchester County. We do multifamily housing primarily, mostly affordable housing. And we are very grateful to have partnered with NRP Construction to construct this project. You can see this is an overall site plan of the project, which consists of a 179 unit apartment building. It's a new building that you can see on the left, a parking garage in the center, and a new Boys and Girls Club. I'll tell you a little bit about each of the projects, and then I can run through the different trades that are available. The purpose of this call is really to let everyone know the opportunities available for local minority women, veteran-owned firms. We're reaching out to all of you to hopefully provide proposals on the project. We basically have every trade and every type of material under the sun needed for this, which I'll get into in a minute. But so the apartment building is a 11-story block and plank new building. It is a 179 units, as I mentioned. It's the masonry construction. It's brick. It's got elevators. It's got common areas on the first floor, extensive common areas on the first floor. And for that building, we need basically every trade imaginable, from roofers to painters, carpenters, masons, electricians, plumbers, flooring, suppliers of all kinds of materials are necessary on that project. I should mention that neither the apartment building nor the Boys and Girls Club have any special wage requirements. It's just an open shop project. The garage is a little bit different. I'll get into that, but anybody can bid on these projects. And like I said, no wage requirements other than the garage, which requires prevailing wage. The garage is a precast concrete parking structure. So a lot of that is prefabricated off-site and craned into place, but we will need, there's foundations, there's elevators, masonry, stairs, doors, lots of miscellaneous trades involved in that. And the new Boys and Girls Club, which is on the right, is a 2-story structure with a basement. It's a steel framed structure, includes a gymnasium in there and a number of office spaces and other multi-function rooms. You can see there it's clad in metal and fiber cement siding. It's really a beautiful new building for the community. So if you want to scroll to the trade list again there, these are just—
Mark, it's Jonathan. I can clarify. I should have clarified the garage a little bit, just the structure. Yeah. So the garage is being built with county infrastructure funds primarily. And so because of that, the City of New Rochelle will actually be bidding out most of the garage structure. Our company's Mark's group will be bidding foundations, site work, piles for the garage, and some other like finish trades that will be part of this process. But the City of New Rochelle, through their public bid process, will be bidding through prevailing wage and under Wick's law for prime trades through the city, which will be a little bit, that'll actually be administered by the city. So for those that would be interested in that, just also please keep an eye on the city's bidding over the next 1 to 3 weeks. Thanks, Mark.
Sure. So we've got a list of most of the trades that we are looking for on the left side here. It's pretty much everything that is required to construct a new building. So we've, large and small contracts. You know, there will be some very large contracts, and then all the way down to very small jobs. For example, in the Boys and Girls Club, certain trades in there might be pretty small contracts. So we really need vendors of all different sizes. There'll be certain qualifications, some of which are listed on the right. We're certainly seeking as many, you know, minority woman-owned firms. Local City of New Rochelle firms are certainly a priority for us. Whether or not you're certified as a minority or woman-owned firm or a service-disabled veteran-owned firm, you should respond. We can actually help, and we've helped many firms get certified. There are pathways for vendors on projects like this to get an expedited review of your application sometimes. So we've helped vendors with that in the past, because it can take a while, as many of you probably know, to get certified by certain agencies. On this particular project, certification by the New York State Empire State Development Office is important. So we encourage firms to have that certification, or we can put you in touch with the right people to help get it. We have prepared a very brief questionnaire, which is available on a link. Oh yeah, there's the questionnaire is right there. I think it's being sent by email to everyone who responded to this event. So everybody should have this. And if you don't, you can submit your information. I think there's an email address in this presentation. Ken, is that correct?
Right. What we're going to do during the presentation in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to send you guys a link. You click on that link, you'll be able to download the actual bid document request, or provide you all of the instructions. In addition to that, if you email, and also put that in the chat box, opportunities@lincolnavrp.com. Opportunities@lincolnavrp.com. If you email that, you'll get an automatic reply. In that reply will be the instructions to the bid document request process. It'll include the link to the document once again, and all other pertinent information as well, and who to send it to directly. And everything's being managed through Touchstone Builders. Thank you.
Yep, so what you're looking at there is basically a very simple questionnaire that you can fill out in a couple of minutes, and just return that back to us. There's an email there, info@touchstone-builders.com. That just gives us your very basic information, so we can put you on the bid list. We will know what trades you're interested in, so we will know what bid packages to send you. Your basic info there, your email, are you certified by any of the agencies, or do you have any particular certifications? Are you based in the City of New Rochelle? It talks briefly about insurance requirements, but you don't have to provide any kind of detailed information on that at this point. So we're asking anybody who's interested in bidding on the first round of bidding to send this back to us by Tuesday, 5 p.m. on Tuesday.
Yeah,
Just
now I do.
Questionnaire.
Right, and that's the kind of dirty tricks that they do.
Okay. Let me. Excuse me. So just so we're crystal clear, this is the beginning process. Not a single contract has been let out. And so we're just saying, for the initial round of submissions, please have it done. Just strictly your information, just on one page, name your company, address, so on and so forth. This process is going to be ongoing. So whether it's next week, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, you will still be able to submit your bid document request form. Not a single contract has been given out. And from day one, we were quite clear before we signed a contract. When I say we, the Lincoln Towers HDFC with NRP, it was clear that as minority co-developers, we were not going to have a $60 million, $55 million construction project in the middle of District 3, which is historically the Black district within New Rochelle, and not have people of color, Blacks and Latinos participate. So again, can't guarantee what trades, but be crystal clear that not just in the trades department, which is, HVAC, electrical, there will be some folks of color who get those contracts. Separate and distinct of that, we have the labor, right, component, and folks who actually do the work, and we'll be partnering with 2 community organizations on the phone. On this call, we also have Andrew Farris, who is the executive director of the New Rochelle Housing Authority, and a tremendous advocate within the City of New Rochelle, and just recently appointed to the African American Advisory Board by the City of New Rochelle, and she'll be looking at this thing very closely, as well as several others. And so just want to be rest assured, I understand a lot of the games that historically have been played, but we are fully committed, and be crystal clear about this as well. This event, we were not mandated or required to do this by anyone. We took it upon ourselves to do this because, again, the AME Zion Church, which is affiliated with both the Lincoln and Guyon Place HCSC, is deeply rooted in civil rights and the fight for economic justice. So be crystal clear that this is not you're not being hoodwinked here. So I just want to say that. And so Mark, please continue.
Yeah, absolutely. This form is just a very initial information, so we can put you on the bid list. And then what will happen is, if you send us this back by next Tuesday, regardless of when you send this back to us, we're going to put you on the bid list. But next week, we're sending out a massive, links to all the drawings for this project, and we're going to start the bid process. And so if you return this by Tuesday, we're going to send you, probably Wednesday or Thursday, we will send you, you'll get through Building Connected, which is an online bidding platform, you'll get a link to the drawings, to the bid package for whatever trade you say you're interested in. And then you'll have about there'll be a bid deadline of about 3 weeks from that point, from when you get it, to submit your bid in. And if you don't sign up and respond right now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have opportunities, but we're going to collect the bids, and we're going to start awarding the early trades starting soon after that. So let's say a month from now, we're going to start awarding the earliest trades in the priority of when we need them on the job site. So, if you get in touch with us later, there'll still be opportunities, but some of the early trades may have been awarded already. So the sooner you send us your info, the sooner we'll get you the bid documents, and then you'll be able to put in a bid for it. That's generally it about the bid process. Building Connected, it's an easy way to download the documents. It doesn't cost anything. Many of you are probably on there, but once you sign up, it'll be good because you'll get many other opportunities as well. So I think it's worthwhile to sign up for that service.
Right. So clearly, there's a schedule of trades, and folks who are on the call, you guys are all in the construction business, that excavation and demolition is going to go early, right? And then maybe kitchen and carpentry goes later. So, if you're submitting something in December, probably demolition has already been awarded. So that's why we're crystal clear that, again, this process is beginning this week. No one received any information last week. And so you're at the beginning of this process. We certainly have to be realistic. It's not all 100% of the job is not going to go to minority contractors, but we're certainly going to do our best effort. So for now, I'm going to stop sharing. There's a boatload, Mark, of questions that we have here. Just give me, there's a question mark about what aspect of the project will be prevailing.
Sure, just all the work related to the garage is subject to prevailing wage. Neither of the other 2 buildings. And
someone asked, will this deck be emailed available to our participants? Several things. I'll email you this presentation, but more importantly, if you look, and I will do it several times throughout this meeting, I sent you did everyone receive the link? Was able to click on that and see the actual bid document request? Did you receive that? No, I'm gonna send it right now. So it's the most recent message rather. Excuse me 1 second. make sure it's to everyone, boom. I just press send. You've got link right there at the bottom. If you click on that link, it should send you directly to the bid, and I'm gonna resend it again separately. So that link right there, if you click on that, will take you directly to the bid document, which you're gonna email to info@touchstone-builders.com, but that instruction is located on the bid document form. In addition, moving forward, anyone that you want to relay this information to, we also suggest and hope that you share this with other folks that you, within your networks. Obviously, you guys know other folks, other minority contractors, so they're not competing in your particular trade, other trades. If you email opportunities at Lincoln, I'm going to email it to you right now, Lincoln Ave, excuse me one second, rp.com, you get an automatic return email, and I'm sending that to you now as well. Okay. And let me share the screen again, once again, very quickly, so we can, and we'll get to your questions very quickly with Mark. Again, Mark, did you want to go over the site plan? You're good to go there? Not really?
Yeah, I'm good to go there. I'm happy to go over all the questions.
Okay. And then boom, okay. And just this last thing for the question, again, if you do opportunities, this is the email that you're going to receive when you email opportunities. So let's go over questions now. 1 second. I'm sorry. Boom. Okay, really well. And if anyone wants to raise their hand, you can also ask a question to Mark directly. Anyone have a question?
I think there was an earlier question that just maybe got lost. Here, I can just read, why don't I read a few of the early questions and then we can come
to
the hand raising. I saw, is there an official pre-qualification? Can Mark discuss insurance and bonding? I saw, are NYC MWBEs accepted? I think the others were answered already. So insurance, bonding, and New York City qualification for MWBE.
Right. So I can answer some of that. So there will be insurance requirements. You're going to need general liability. You're going to need an umbrella policy of probably about a minimum of about $2 million. It's going to vary by trade, and we don't know all of the details of what level of insurance will be required for each trade. Our group is actually negotiating to buy our insurance policy for the project right now, and they are going to dictate some of the subcontractor requirements, but it won't necessarily be the same for someone putting up window blinds than somebody that is craning the precast plank up the building. They may have a higher insurance requirement. There's no set bonding requirement for subs as of now. It's going to just vary on a case-by-case basis, but by default, bonds are not necessarily required unless there's a particular reason for it with a particular trade. And on the New York City requirement, I think we want to encourage all minority woman-owned businesses, but we have certain requirements and goals that are on the project based on New York State HFA and funding sources for the project. And the way that I currently understand it, after going through many of these projects, New York State does not recognize New York City certified firms. They only recognize, to my knowledge, and I've been down this road many times, the firms that are certified by New York State, Empire State Development. But another point is that if you're certified by New York City, it's usually not that hard to get yourself certified by New York State. I have some vendors right now that we do a lot of work with that are certified by New York City, but not yet by state. And we're trying to help them go through that process. But so I think firms that are certified by New York State ESD are certainly a priority on the project because of our state requirements, but they're not the only priority. And if you have a city certification, we can try to point you in the right direction to help get the state ESD certification. I hope that's clear. If you have any more questions, just put them out there.
And I know we have on the phone Roxanne Nielsen from the Minority Business Development Agency. Roxanne, do you have a quick question you indicated? Who is a Westchester resident?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm not only a Westchester resident, New Rochelle born, and union trained carpenter. So I am glad to see, I shout out all of the members here. I see so many of them. It's hard to name them all. Sylvia, Len, Faulkner Fabricators. Please be sure to, keep us in the loop. We are interested in how this project gets fitted up in terms of the insurance requirements. We always recommend an OSIP if possible, because it is a public works project. These are OSIPs, are owner-controlled insurance policies, which can help to level the playing field. And we really appreciate, because of my experience having worked on the Tappan Zee Bridge project as the DBE administrator for the state project under Tracy Mitchell's guidance, we were able to overachieve our $314 million goal with some of the firms that are in our MBDA. So I really appreciate all the MBDA members who showed up tonight. Deirdre, I see you, and so many of them. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Kenneth. And don't hesitate to use us as a resource. And Alexis, bottom line, I can go on and on. Oh, there's so many of them. Abner, Lario, so many. Thank you so much.
Ken and Mark, thank you, Roxanne. Great to meet you. By phone. Two questions that came up in this chat. Where is an OSIP being considered, which I think Roxanne also alluded to, and then schedule, just estimated groundbreaking and estimated completion.
So I believe an OSIP is being considered, but I am not handling the insurance purchase for the project. One of NRP's legal team is dealing with that. But I believe it's a project-specific owner contractor policy that they're seeking for the project. Jonathan, I don't know if you know any more specifics, but I think it is an OSIP, but I'm not 100% sure.
We'd have to follow up on that.
Yep. What was the other question? Sorry.
Another question was schedule.
Oh, schedule.
Beginning, groundbreaking and completion. And then while I have you, another question was eligibility of contractors from outside of New York, such as Connecticut. Sure.
So the project, the groundbreaking should essentially be at the end of this year, where certain work gets started. It might be just initial site work and utility relocations, and then the major construction will start early next year, and it's going to go on for 2 to 3 years from that point. So it's going to be basically 3 years from now that the project will be going on.
And the out of state.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think we would consider bidders from out of state, for sure. We're not limiting it to New York State. We'll certainly try to prioritize firms that are based in and around New Rochelle, but we will welcome, proposals from out of state firms. Any others, Jonathan?
None that I see in the chat, but please, okay. Yvette is, okay, here we go. Please share with us some of the concerns and qualifications. For instance, you mentioned bonding for certain trades. What trades might have to be bonded based on your just past experience? And can you talk about typical payment schedule? Is your firm open to start 30-day payments? Is your firm open to startup/mobilization?
Yeah, so bonding would be in a certain scenario where, let's say we were awarding a particularly critical trade for the project, and the subcontractor's either track record or financial capacity might be weaker than we would otherwise want, then we might ask for a bond, or we might try to see if the subcontractor could post a bond. It doesn't happen that often, but it really depends on the capacity and kind of how critical the trade is for the overall project completion. Payment terms, the way these projects normally have pretty good payment terms, where as a general contractor, from my experience, we normally get paid within about 30 to 40 days of so if we submit an invoice around, let's say the work for September is completed, we put in our requisition, or the subcontractors put in their requisition the end of September. We put it in, and we usually get funded in the 30 to 45 day range from the banks, and then and we can typically process the payments within a couple of days of us getting paid. So, you know, it's approximately a 30-day turnaround, 30, 40 day, if sometimes it's a little bit better than that, but that's usually what I tell people. And as far as startup capital, sometimes we can do a little bit. It's hard to do large quantities of that for many, many vendors, and I wouldn't really want to promise that, in a forum like this, but occasionally we can do it. It just depends on the situation. If there's certain long lead material that you need to order and you need money up front, sometimes we can convince the banks to let us put in an invoice for that material, knowing the conditions, and we can get some money up front. So it's possible, but it's not kind of that frequent. I think that's what that was referring to, startup mobilization funding, right?
Yeah, okay. Are there any opportunities for professional services, marketing, or social media?
Yeah, Ken, I mean, that typically comes through the development group. So if we could just set up an opportunity to understand the firm's offerings with either myself or Ken, I think we're always, there's a lot of components that are going to be happening ongoing. So
And we're going to have groundbreaking ribbon cutting, probably.
Right.
We have a website already, but it can be, so there's a lot of things to look at though. Clean work is commercial cleaning, post-construction cleaning. Will this trade require a bond? And what are the insurance requirements for this project?
So we will need finish cleaning, fine cleaning at the end of the project for sure. It's highly unlikely that would require a bond. And I think that would also be on the lower end of the insurance requirements for the project. I don't know the exact amount that it will be. It would, it'll probably be, $2 million general liability plus like $1 or $2 million umbrella plus workers' comp, which you would normally have anyway. That's probably what the requirements will be, and that'll probably be on the low end of any trade for the project. And I'm pretty sure we wouldn't require a bond for that.
Okay. Okay. Blondell Pickett of the ED of Jamaican Resource Center, who's a Westchester resident. Do you have any points you want to make or any questions?
Hold on, I was getting off mute. Thank you, Kenneth. No, I don't have any questions. I was just listening to the presentation. Thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you for coming on. Thank you.
Was there a consultant in the group that could help people get certified? I thought I saw a message, but that would be very helpful.
Having gone through the process, the City of New York and the state have people who will help you. City of New York is a little more responsive. State of New York, Port Authority of New York, it's just something we've got to get into it and be persistent. It will happen, but it's not easy and it's not quick.
Well, Roxanne has said that MBDA can help with certification. Roxanne, do you want to talk about that very, very quickly and briefly? Is there a fee? Is that just?
Absolutely free. No one should ever pay for certification services. However, they are correct. The Empire State Development has like a 2-year waiting list. But that being said, there's no time like the present. We can help firms who may have tried to get certified and been unable to get it together. We can provide that one-on-one counseling to help.
Roxanne, this is Terrence. Remember me? Minority Business Certification Assistance. I'm working directly with Raymond now, cell phone to cell phone, getting the applications actually moved along, and I've been successful since COVID.
And our MBDA is part of Bach Network, which is a not-for-profit, and we are an authorized certifier for New York State.
Okay.
Fantastic. And so what we're going to do, with everyone's permission, this is also about networking, right? There's some other projects, apps separate and distinct from this project. So we're going to email this database so you guys can talk amongst yourself, and I'll make sure that we share Roxanne. And Roxanne, and also gentleman Terrence Addison, if you would share your information in the chat room, that would be very helpful to folks who may need some assistance with certification as well. Thank you.
Kenneth, this Blondell, is it possible that you'd have a website where you could put that information where people could get it, have access to it?
Absolutely. We'll do that on Lincoln Ave RP. Give that to, I'll try and get it done tomorrow, if not tomorrow, by Monday. Blondell, that was a great suggestion.
Ken, I'm just seeing questions from Yvette.
Mm-hmm.
One is, well, she just mentioned being aware of just COVID's impact on finances, especially for MWB contractors, and asked if the project managers or estimators will be available for in-person meetings to go over plans and specs before submitting bids.
Yeah, I think we can. I mean, a lot of my team is working remote still, but we can have in-person meetings. It's fine. I'm happy to do it. Anybody can contact us. We can go over the plans by phone, in person, whatever anybody needs. We can work with them on it. One other point on the MWBE too. I think there's if anybody's going to try to get certified, you should try to do. There's like a one-step or one-stop application that's supposed to get you certified by the state, the city, and the Port Authority in one package. From what I understand, I think that's the way most people do it now, but I would encourage anybody to do it that route. That way, wherever the project is, you'll be certified.
And if there are specific questions that are getting just lost in the chat or are very specific, I think, to the individual's trade or business, Mark, is it fair to say info@touchstone-builders.com is the right reach out point? I'm going to put that in the chat again right now. And everybody's going to get a follow-up email that registered with all this information. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ken, awesome.
Yes, that'll be done tomorrow. And again, if you email opportunities@Lincoln Ave RP, I'll put that, you'll have an automatic reply email, and you'll have the bid document as well as the contact information for Mark. Okay. Are there any other questions? Did we answer everything? And we have a question here. What a little more statement.
Ken, you were going to clarify just something. It doesn't seem like anybody picked up on it, but in case a question comes up later, you were going to clarify just the club transition off of the PDF, just to make sure, or I can do it. Just there's a, however. There's a line in with the PDF that to clarify for community members that the club's services will not be interrupted during construction, though the club will leave the site during construction. So the entire development parcel, construction parcel will be clear, you know, for staging and all the just tremendous amount of construction activities that are be going on. And then just to pick up a couple questions.
One question, I think Angela Farris, who's the, from the New Rochelle Housing Authority, has a question.
Yes. Hi, good evening all. And again, Kenny, thank you for inviting me to participate in this call. I'm really concerned about making sure that there's a certain population that has been left out of these projects. And Kenny, you know what my compassion is to make sure that that doesn't happen with this project or any projects the Housing Authority may have in the near future. My question, it comes in terms of more so for the laborers who need that OSHA certification. In this project, is there any funding set aside that can be utilized to already start the process for these people to get their OSHA certification to be on the construction site? That's my question.
Great question, Angela. What we have done, Angela, you know, we have not put, you know, in the budget set aside for OSHA. We've this project, in terms of the give back, you know, we are building a multi-million-dollar Boys and Girls Club facility. What we are going to do though is I reached out to First Source, and we'll be having a meeting with them and connected them with Touchstone. In addition, had a very good conversation rather with Daniel Bonet of Westcop and 95 North. And so we'll be partnering with two organizations that already have done the pre-screening, already certified folks to make sure that they're OSHA certified, and we'll connect them with there's two fronts here. So we want to make sure, and to your point, there's making sure minorities receive fair and equitable opportunities for vendors. Separate and distinct of that, we want to make sure that we have workers. So regardless whether or not a contract is awarded to minority or majority firm, it could be majority firm from Stanford. What the conversation that Mark and I had as recent as early this morning was, he's going to articulate to that firm, he still wants to see that firm attempt to reach some hiring requirements for outside of his or her staff. Again, no guarantee, but we're going to do our best to make sure that not just sure that contract awarded to minority firms, but also the workforce. And we've had a conversation with Danielle, have not had an extensive recent conversation with First Source. I had a meeting with them in their office maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Their staff has since changed. So, but I definitely had a initial conversation with them this morning. And plus you and I are going to be working very closely with this. And John, I'm pretty sure we'll be having some meetings, and I know you're going to hold us our feet to the fire. So
absolutely.
So, all right.
Good evening. My name is Gray Nina. I would like to say something to Angela. Angela, the city has a program. I don't know if it's the city or Department of Building. They have a program, and they reimburse the money that you spend in your workers to train as OSHA, the requirement that they were requested. So you should look for those information. Google it, please. And I have another question. Do you have already the price of the project in general? You're gonna give the price in general, or you're gonna give the price by trades?
The developer has an overall budget for the project. So there's a budget for the project. I think that the overall numbers are still being finalized, but we are going, I don't know, is that your question? I'm not sure.
That came up elsewhere too. It's about a $55 million total, all three buildings construction costs. Now the garage is a big piece of that, the club building, but it's about a $55 million total construction project.
Okay, thank you.
Mark, there was a question about how is the building, is the club and the residential one letting out as sort of one contract, or breaking it up into multiple like projects from a construction standpoint?
It doesn't need to be all one project. It'll probably be awarded. Certain trades might be awarded together, but I would say overall they'll probably be mostly separate contracts. There's a lot of different trades in the two buildings, but by awarding of the Boys and Girls Club separately, I think it'll give us an opportunity to utilize some smaller businesses as well, because those contracts will generally be smaller, so we could break out, painting, flooring, carpentry, et cetera, in that building will be much smaller contracts than in the big apartment building. So that's what we'll try to do.
There was a question, is it section 3 or the section 3 requirements, Mark?
No, to my knowledge, there's no section 3 requirements on this project.
Okay. Lisa Burton from the county legislator, Damon Marr's office. Are there any apprenticeship opportunities? Lisa, I think, once again, I think that's going to go through First Source and also Daniel's program. Daniel through Westcott is now starting a new program. So as we meet with him and get more information, but he's very excited about it. And I know it's officially an apprenticeship program, but there's no official apprenticeship program specifically associated with this particular project that I'm aware of. But there are some requirements that the IDA are holding us to, but not an apprenticeship program. Hopefully
and to the oversight question, and I apologize to the whole group. I have to excuse myself at 7. But we are under oversight on the WMB local diversity question from both the City of New Rochelle, the IDA of the City of New Rochelle, and probably most importantly, the State Housing Finance Agency, because of the amount of funding coming from the state.
Right. And just for total, transparency, the Anshin Block, which is the company hired by the City of New Rochelle, specifically, it's not just our project, but all the projects throughout the city. There's 2 levels. There's local, which is their primary function, and there's some state requirements. So we literally had a brief conversation this morning. We'll be having some face-to-face. So they'll be, they're in charge of overseeing this project to make sure that we hit our minority outreach standards. But again, I'm not trying to put anyone, I'm trying not to be on both sides of the line here. We've all historically have been, walked past affordable housing developments around the region who apparently had met their MWE requirements because they've been built, and you never see a person of color on that site, right? Or very rare. And so I think regardless of what requirements the city and state, I personally believe, and and working with Jonathan so far, that no one is going to hold higher standards than we're going to hold. I mean, that's, we are here tonight not because of any requirement. Let's be clear on that. So, again, we have to be realistic. We have to be, you have to be qualified. It can't be the hookup, but certainly we know that there's a lot of folks with capacity who are minorities who are qualified, and they're gonna bid, and they'll go through a process and hold our feet to the fire. But no one's gonna be more aggressive than we are, I believe.
Thanks, Ken. Just answering a couple more questions. The NRP Touchstone JV is the construction manager. So I know these terms get sometimes used interchangeably, but we don't have we have on-site project management, but not any trades or laborers. So it's what Mark's group is doing is hiring out subcontractors. So the NRP Touchstone JV LLC is the construction manager for the project. And I think there was one more to that. I don't, Mark, I don't think it's typical for us to give a range by trade. I don't think that's common practice for us. So.
Somebody asked a question about the benefits of Section 3 certification also. I think you maybe mentioned that. But we put it on our questionnaire, I believe. I don't think it applies to this project, but we're involved in a number of other projects in Westchester, and I'm happy to talk to any of you about the other projects that we're working on, also some of which require Section 3 certification. But it's a easy self-certification that any of you who are interested in getting that should look online and try to get it. I've had some of our vendors get certified, and it generally applies to housing authority projects and other HUD funded projects. But if I've, very recently been searching the database of approved Section 3 firms in Westchester, and there's very few of them. So I would encourage everyone to go on there and try to get yourself certified, because it can help you on a lot of the HUD and housing authority contracts.
Thank you, Mark. Mark, I'm not sure this question was answered. Do you know the estimated value of the project? Just the overall dollar value of the project?
I think Jonathan answered it. It was around 55 million.
Okay, thank you. Okay, looking at this, going back over some of these questions. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to jump in. I'm just reading through the chat room, 1 second. Oversight. Okay, I see it. Okay. Yeah, no other. What are the projected MBE, WBE goals for the project? Workforce goals. And this is from Leo Fabio.
I don't have all of the workforce goals in front of me, but there are, I know from the state agency, there is don't quote me on these exact percentages, but there's approximately a 20% minority business goal. There's approximately a 10% woman-owned business goal and a 6% service disabled veteran goal. And those percentages, though, are not applied. The way the state agency works is they're applied to the funding amount that the developer gets for the project. And I don't know exactly what those numbers are tonight here, but they're not applied to the overall total project cost. But suffice it to say that just from that agency, the goals are 20, 30, 36% for those different categories. And there's also goals that are from the City of New Rochelle as well, which I don't have in front of me, but there is.
And there will be some criteria for local to Anshin in our conversation with them today. The person handling that won't be in the office or available till Monday. So we'll have that information that relates to whatever the local goes through the IDA. Another question we have is, will this be a public bid opening, or will it be public bid openings? I don't believe so, but I mean, you can answer that.
Yeah. There won't be on the Boys and Girls Club and the apartment building. I believe that on certain portions of the garage, there will be some form of public bid openings for the packages that are being bid out by the City of New Rochelle.
Okay.
And those are basically the precast concrete and the major MEP trades.
Okay. Are you working with a specific compliance firm for goals? I think we answered earlier. The City of New Rochelle has hired someone to oversee this process, along with all the development projects within the City of New Rochelle. Anshin, based in New York City, was hired to make sure all of the construction projects within the City of New Rochelle are within compliance. Hopefully that answers your question. Will there be a technical pre-bid meetings on the various packages? Mark?
Will there be what on the various bid packages?
Pre-bid meetings on the various packages. Will there be pre-bid meetings?
No, generally, no. There's not going to be pre-bid meetings for the most part. There's going to be, you will get a bid package sent to you, like I said, through Building Connect. It'll have a general invitation to bid, and it'll have a link to plan specifications. In some cases, there's a bid form to fill out, and other information about the sales tax status, et cetera, for the project, but no bid meetings.
Thank you. And Mark, can you briefly explain your bid process and vetting? I know you briefly touched on it earlier, but maybe you can touch on it again.
Well, we're inviting as many firms as we can to bid on the project, all the different trades. We are asking generally for bids to be returned within 3 weeks from when you get the documents. And from that point, we will evaluate all the bids against each other for price, for scope. We'll go through and qualify the scope of each vendor. We'll call vendors based on questions about their scope of work. Then we'll talk about, as we get closer to awarding it, we'll talk about certain, can they meet the insurance requirements, and, what other projects they have going on, maybe references and past project history. And that's generally it. And then we'll probably have, interviews with the bidders to meet with them and get to know them if we don't already know them, and see if we can make a deal.
Okay. Raton asks, will there be debrief meetings after bid awards to unsuccessful bidders?
If anybody wants them, they're certainly welcome to contact us, and we'll go over why they may not have been awarded the project.
And I see Justine, Jonathan suggested we seek certification that may be required for both housing and HUD. Do you have a website, or can you direct us to the applications? Mark, are you aware of that, or should I just?
Oh, yes. If you just Google Section 3 certification, you will find links to what that process is. And I think it's a relatively simple, as I said, self-certification process where I don't know all the questions, but they have to do with what the owner's income levels are, what the income levels of the workforce are, I believe, that works for your company, and also the location of your firm as well. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah, Diane Moore just said the second 3 is on the NYCHA website, and Roxanne Nielsen just shared that link. So Justin or Justine, Roxanne Nielsen just shared the link. So thank you so much for that, Roxanne.
I had a question, and it's a little unusual in this context here, but Northeast Planning Group provides planning and services to small businesses to protect owners and key players in the companies in the event something happens to them, perhaps during this project or other projects. And so we got MBE certified, and now the question is, well, all right, how do we play a positive role in this project? How do you go about providing this kind of service, I guess I would say, to the bidders? The project itself will be protected. It will have, various types of insurance to do that. So the project is protected, but in the course of doing the job on the project, how do the companies set themselves up so that they're protected if something happens to key employees or to the owner themselves? And as you can see, I'm struggling to figure out, well, all right, how can we be a part and how can we do good things for the bidders and be an important part of the project? Not an easy question, but I ask you to point me in the right direction.
I'm sorry, Mark, did you want to take that or?
I'm not sure I can answer that one. Maybe somebody else is better suited to answer.
Possibly we could talk about offline. Is that okay? I mean, I'll give you my email.
Any way you'd like to talk, certainly. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, are you able to put a master schedule or a trade schedule so they know approximately when specific trades will be let out to bid, et cetera, et cetera?
I think everybody that's on the call should try to get their information into us, like I said, by early next week, and try to provide a bid within the 3 weeks after that, if you can, because we're gonna award things in a priority basis, but we want to award the bulk of the project within, let's say, the first 3-4 months. So that, you know, as many of you know, pricing on material now is going crazy. You know, lumber pricing has doubled plus in the past month. So we're going to be just in the interest of keeping the budget on the project, we're going to be looking to award and lock in contracts for a lot of the materials and subcontractors in the next few months, even for things that aren't going to, even if the work is not going to happen for a year, maybe. So you know, anybody can contact us directly. If somebody feels like they need more time to bid on something, just reach out to us and I'll talk to you about it. But we're gonna award many of the trades in the next couple of months.
Okay, I'm sending out this year. I just posted his email address once again. Please, you know, contact here's his email address to contact directly. In response, are you bidding painting now? So yes, just definitely if you're a painter, submit your information. It may not be let or awarded, but the suggestion is strongly, no matter what trade you have or trade that you provide rather, it's strongly suggested that you bid immediately. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes. Yep, definitely.
Any other questions? Any waving of hands? Anyone have a question? Reverend Rouse, do you have any points that you want to make, Reverend Rouse?
I'm sorry, I was muted, Ken. No, I'm pleased with what took place and hope that everyone has benefited from it. Other than that, I'm good.
Mr. Gordon, Keith Gordon, I see you on the phone. I know you're in this game pretty deep. Do you have any questions, suggestions, any comments that you want to make, Keith Gordon?
No, thank you very much. But no, I think it's been well laid out.
Alvaro Mendez, I know you're here partially due to Daniel. Daniel, do you have any questions or any comments? Anything that you want to say? Okay. Is that pretty much it?
I'm
okay.
Good.
I think we're looking pretty good then. Shane, anything that you want to say before we, if no one else has any more questions? Will we receive a copy of the presentation? Yes, I'll email that out to the group tomorrow. Terrence Addison asked if we receive a copy of the presentation. Yes, But again, the most important aspect of the presentation is the bid document form. Has everyone received that link? Did everyone receive that link that we sent out? And is that link working? Hello? This link right here. That's the most important aspect of the presentation.
Ken, I think this was great, and thank you for this opportunity. If there's anything that we could do to help facilitate as far as like getting people involved, keeping organizations on track for responding to you. If you're not seeing enough, enough bids come in or enough information coming in, I would just suggest you let your community partners know so we can dig into people, and dig into the community organizations that are our go-betweens. So any help you need, just let us know.
Thank you, Shane. Someone just posted that before you can bid, you need to see official drawings. So just to be clear, this, this Zoom meeting webinar is fine, but the most important thing is to download the bid document request form. No one's going to receive any consideration unless Mark and his firm receives your bid document form. So you can receive the drawings and the bid documents, right? So the process is to download this link. I just sent you a link, or you can email opportunities@lincoln@rp.com. Once you do that, you fill it out. It's very basic information. I'm not sure if you got on the call later, but I'll send it again. I'm gonna post it right now. This is to Sabrine. I'm gonna post it right now. And here is the link. Click on that link. That link will take you to a form. Print that form, fill out the form, scan it, and email it back to info@touchstonebuilders.com. That email's on the bottom of the form. And once you do that, you'll receive the bid documents, which include the plans and so on and so forth. If you have any questions, then you respond directly to that info@ email address. There's a few other. I don't receive. I have. So Avro, you have not received the email you said? I'm going to send you a couple of links, Alvaro.
And Ken, just to be clear, they don't have to, they can fill it out by hand.
Okay.
They can type it, they can respond with the information in the email. I don't care, as long as it's legible, they can handwrite into the form. They could take a picture of the form after it's filled out and email it to us. Any of those, just get us the information and we will get you the bid packages.
Fantastic. Copy.
Kenny, is it still okay for me to send you a list of the contractors I use on my development project?
I prefer, if possible, for you to send the information to them directly.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want me. I'm a middleman, right? From that standpoint, I'm not.
Listen, my day is just so busy, so I'm just trying to figure out.
I'll tell you what.
But it's fine.
No, send it to me, and I'll make sure they get it.
Okay, and again, I just want to thank you all for being a community partner with our Heritage Home Summer Blast. So already, you guys are already making strides. Just want to acknowledge that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So it's 7:15. Do we have any other questions? I'm looking at the chat room. No other questions. Any other questions? There's one more. Any other questions? Going once?
Wait, Ken, I have one more question. I'm sure that you've already thought of this, but something that you and I have talked about and a few people have talked about throughout the community is, construction is part one of these things, and building operations, management, etc. is another. And then the things that you need to address the market and do outreach and advertising and all of those things. So is that going to be a separate process, or should everybody get their information in now?
Great question. That definitely will be a separate process as far as management. And you and I and other folks can talk about that directly. NRP will be managing the property, who that person is on site and who's managing the on-site office is a discussion to be had, right? And so that person has not been selected. And so actually from a marketing standpoint and getting information out, there will be opportunities for all of that. Everything from the groundbreaking, ribbon cutting, website, marketing materials, supermarkets. Obviously, this is LIHTC, 4% tax credit, so there are certain requirements. A property manager must be certified in that particular area. But with that being said, we can certainly have the conversation.
Excellent.
Any other questions? And Brother Muhammad, I saw your question about security. We know that you literally at one point when things were going well, I mean you've managed the security at Heritage Homes. You've done other sites around Westchester, southern Westchester, based on Westchester. So we've already supplied information to NRP.
Thank you.
Reverend Rouse, do you think we should close out, or is that sufficient, you think, or?
Yeah, I think you've covered just about everything you could cover tonight. There might be further questions. We would encourage everyone to contact you, and you can direct them in the direction they need to go. And so I think we're off to a good start. We're looking for a very community-related project, and we're just excited that we have come thus far by faith, and that we will see this done. As they said, the completion date is some 2-3 years off, but let's get going.
Hey, Kenneth, what's your contact info, or how do we email you or whatever?
Okay, let me give that to folks. I only was hesitant, but I was definitely.
I can imagine, yes.
No, only because I don't want to get folks to get confused with sending out the information, the big request forms. That's my personal email, but let me be crystal clear. Do not send your bid forms to that email address. But if you have a question, I'll give you my office number as well.
Thank you.
Yep. Extension 102. And then also that number on the flyer, I can't remember what the number is. The 347 number is a burner phone, and I have that phone in my possession as well. You can call that number, the 347 number. And last but not least, if you email opportunities@lincolnavrp.com, granted you'll receive an automatic response, but I also receive those emails as well. All right. I think I just want to say again, really the person who's started this whole thing and was his vision was the Lincoln Towers HCF board led by Reverend Rouse, who's done an amazing job. So I really just want you guys to really just be aware of that. He's been a great fiduciary advocate for the HCFC, put them in a tremendous financial position. And so again, thank you, Reverend Rouse, for your leadership and trust. And also would acknowledge the current pastor of St. Catherine Amy Zion Church, Reverend Wallace Noble, who eventually will be the president of the Guyan Place HCFC as well. So again, just want to thank you both for your leadership and trust and vision and at this point. Thank you. All right. Is that it, everyone? Mark, thank you so much for this presentation, and I look forward. I wish everyone good luck. I wish everyone the best, and I'm confident that some folks on this call will be awarded, but I wish everyone the best. Signing off. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Thank you, Angela, thank you.